All right, for today's video review, we're going to be taking a look at Hexbug JunkBots Boxstritch from the Factory Collection. Now, the Factory Collection for JunkBots is basically their Series 2, and some of the characters in the Factory Collection are actually just like redone versions of characters in the Series 1, the Alley Collection, and Boxstritch is one of those. So it's one of the ones that existed in Series 1, but then they, remolded some of the parts into different colors, added a couple extra parts here and there, and overall gave them like a similar but kind of different looking aesthetic. And yeah, here we have Boxstritch here, who is a kind of a funky looking junk bot. He's got a big cardboard box here on his head, which is something that they had on the original Boxstritch too, who unfortunately I don't have the original Boxstritch, so I can only show off the Factory Collection one, not the original one, and show them side by side. But the original Boxstritch had more of like a standard looking like blank cardboard box as his little hat here, whereas this one has like a more specific thing with the the voltage crunch power bars. Kind of neat there, although it is a little annoying because like if the flaps are on this side, shouldn't all of the text be upside down? I would think. I don't know. It would make more sense to me that way, but either way it works. And you don't have to have the box on him. You can take it off, and that's what he looks like underneath. Still kind of a funky guy there. I'm not entirely sure what his main body section is supposed to be. It's clearly maybe some kind of engine block with like pistons and stuff in there, but it kind of just ends up looking like a little skull face, which I guess why he wants to hide it with a cardboard box here. In terms of his legs, obviously the one of them has this big wheel on the bottom here, not really being used as a wheel because it can't roll or anything, but just as a flat foot there. And then I don't know what this is, but it's got a little saw blade in it or a little gear or something like that. And then this section here, again, another kind of just generic part here, but it does have some spinning gears. And then this section here with a little, just really a lot of just generic parts. I guess this is some kind of wrench or something, but, they're all distinctive looking parts. So at least they're not too like innocuous, but he doesn't really made up of a ton of like recognizable objects aside from the wheel. And then, well, obviously the box. Usually I don't love when they incorporate cardboard into the JunkBots designs. With him, I kind of give it a pass because at least the cardboard piece is actually, a cardboard box. Whereas like sometimes some of the pieces are like, oh, cardboard, but it's meant to represent like pieces of sheet metal. And I don't think that works particularly well because you can see it's super thin, but this cardboard definitely does a convincing job looking like a cardboard box. So I can give it kind of a pass there. In terms of how he differs from the original Boxstritch, obviously a lot of the parts are cast in different colors, but build-wise, the big differences are this piece here. I don't think the original one has this piece to hold the box on. It just kind of sits there. And then the rest of it, he doesn't have this little dial on one of his legs here, and then he doesn't have arms. So pretty much just like these little sections here with the arms he wouldn't have. So the original Boxstritch mold is pretty much just that. Like, okay, there we go. Different colors, but that's what the original one looks like. So, it just adds arms, but overall it's not particularly different. What's kind of weird about Boxstritch in particular is usually the body modules have way more actual connection points than Boxstritch does, where he really only has the 3 here, here, and here, and these ones are the ones that are meant to function with the modules. So when you have like his legs and stuff attached, because those are the only points you can attach them with, he can't really use the modules. And then even if you didn't have the legs attached and you plugged in the module here, you'd have literally only one connection point, which is that's really rough because like part of the fun of this whole toy line is that you can actually motorize them and plug in LED sections and stuff like that. Like I'll still show off how the modules work with him. The vibrating module, I mean, you can plug it in there and it vibrates. Cool, but you can't have his legs attached while that's happening. I mean, I guess to be fair, with the vibrating module, you could plug that one sort of onto his head, although not really, because there's not really clearance for it. The motor module, you gotta turn this off. All right, the motor module, if you have to plug it into the bottom here because especially with the motor module, because you have to plug this in, and that's where one of the legs attaches. So you can't have the legs attached. It kind of just makes this bit vibrate up and down, which I'm trying to get it to actually work with this attached. So yeah, there you go. So it kind of jitters the box around. So that's pretty cool. But again, you can't actually do that with the legs attached. So kind of defeats the purpose. And then the LED module, which thankfully you don't really have to plug in the LED module to get that one to function. So you could just plug it into the spots here and then plug his legs back on. But this is what that one does. Just lights at his eyes there, which is nice. That's a nice look. And then can show him off here with actually having the legs attached. Just rebuild him here. Oh, and then here's his little, I didn't show this off before, but here's his little sheet here that shows off what he's supposed to look like and the build there, so you can see where all the parts go. But yeah, we'll just put his legs and arms back on so you can see. I don't know if it's going to fit with the box on there, but we'll try so that you can actually, because I feel like that would be the coolest effect with Boxstritch, is being able to see the one glowing eye through the little cutout section there. Oh, yeah, you can get it to fit. I mean, it only has 2 places to plug in the LED section, so the other one just kind of lights up, but you can just take that off. You don't need it. And then the actual thing just kind of hangs down. But otherwise, that's pretty cool. I like seeing the little light up in the eye there. So yeah, I mean, I'd say that out of the 3 of them, the LED section is the best with him, but it's still not great because you still have to just kind of hang it out the back there, and it doesn't like totally fit inside the cardboard box. So it's just really weird to me that his body module just does not have the same number of connection points as most of the other body modules do. Like, there's really no good reason why there couldn't have been sections here or here. So at least maybe not with him, but in different builds, you could actually get more use out of the modules. But I don't know. It's kind of a weird complaint, but like overall, I still like him a lot just because like I really like his whole hiding in a box aesthetic, with or without the box. Like I like his little skull face too. But in terms of his actually functionality with like the whole gimmick of the toy line, it doesn't work quite as well. But yeah, for comparisons, here he is with a core class transformer, a G1 Minibot transformer. Here he is with a BotBot. And then last but not least, here he is with Jack Static, who's kind of the main character of the JunkBots, and they look good together. He's kind of a weird sort of tall, lanky dude. But yeah, I'm complaining a lot about how he functions with the modules just because it's kind of baffling to me. But at the end of the day, I prefer that they're just fun builds rather than really function super well with the modules. It's just sort of perplexing to me that there wasn't like more care given to like how this guy actually functioned with the modules, because being part of the Hexbugs toy line, like that does seem like to be a big part of the play pattern, and you just kind of can't really do it with him. And it sucks too, because like some of the functions, like getting this to jitter around, would be really cool to have, but since you can't actually do that without not having the legs attached, like maybe it would work better. Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, since you do have these sections on the back of the motor module, I guess you could like plug these into the motor module itself. That work? All right. Okay, we're finding a workaround here. Maybe there are people who are more familiar with JunkBots that are screaming at their screen that I should have figured this out from the get-go, but okay, that could work. Then let's turn it on there. I mean, it kind of messes with his proportions a little bit, but okay, fair enough. All right, that works. And then, you could do the same thing with, well, not the same thing, because the other LED module, like the LED module doesn't have connection points to it, neither does the vibrating one. But in the specific case of the motor module, all right, okay, fine. That still works. It does, again, kind of make him a little bit more awkward than he was before, but at least it's still a functionality. So, all right. Having to walk back some of my opinions here a little bit. But either way, whether you could use the modules with him or not, I still really like the look of this guy. I don't know if the arms are totally necessary as his, Series 2 upgrade, but, it's not really getting in the way of anything, just a little extra added detail. But yeah, I've been rating these guys on either keep, scrap, or edit. And, I think with him, despite the fact that the modules don't have really a perfect interaction with him, he's still a keep for me. I just love his look on the shelf. I think he's a fun little robot guy to have. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. He's got some fun parts, so if you got multiple of these guys, I think he would be a good one to scrap and kind of use for different things. I could definitely see a lot of fun ways that these bits in particular could be used. But either way, he's pretty cool in and of himself. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And without further ado, here we have, I didn't really talk about his articulation there. He can rotate his legs around, bend at the knee. This one doesn't have a knee. Arms can move around, you know, the obvious stuff. But yeah, there we have JunkBots Series 2 Boxstritch.